It's so interesting because I love what you said about like treating your audience like they're dumb. And that's not a pejorative. No, it's not a pejorative at all, because like filmmaking is very similar. Like storytelling is
Mm-hmm.
like, if you want to tell a compelling story, it's kind of like a hypnotism. You have to kind of think for them so
Mm-hmm.
that they can go on the ride with you. And one thing that I've noticed from listening to comics, one of them being Joe Rogan, he used to talk about, I don't listen to him that much anymore, but he used to talk about like comedy being like a hypnotism,
Mm-hmm.
right? Do you kind of feel like that, like you're showing your perspective, but you're doing it in a way where you take people and you put them in your brain? Like, do
Yeah,
you
I mean,
feel it like that?
I like the word hypnotism. I've never thought of that word,
Mm,
but what I have thought, which is similar, is that comedy is kind of like a magic trick and it's kind of an illusion, because
mm.
sometimes you'll hear a comedian do a set and everyone's laughing and they're killing and you're laughing and you're like, this is the fucking funniest thing. Can I curse on this podcast?
Yeah.
Abso-fucking-lutely.
Okay.
We're fucking dirty
Okay.
here.
Yeah, you are. You guys are so dirty. Anyway, you're like, this is the fucking funniest thing I've ever seen. Oh my God. And then maybe you're like a comedy fan, or you see that comedian again, you see them tell the same jokes. And just seeing the same jokes again, sometimes you're like, like you kind of, it's like a magician showing how to do his tricks. And sometimes you see the same jokes again and they don't do well. And that's even worse. And you're
Mhm,
like, oh, like this isn't that funny. Why was I laughing before? And
mhm,
I think there are things that are just like, they're gonna get a laugh like most of the time. There is like a way to achieve something that's like pretty funny to most people, but even then, it's still always like this sort of context based. Like, what's the room? It's like it's so dependent on the situation, and it really is kind of this illusion. And yeah, maybe like this sort of hypnotism that if you when you do well, you're like hypnotizing the crowd and bringing them into that world with you. Uh, Otherwise, it's just words,
mm.
you know.